So, welcome to A Course of Love book gathering, a book written by Perron, first receiver. Um, this is a book gathering that's been going on now for a while, but it's never too late to catch up. All of the recordings are posted on my Facebook channel and on YouTube. And so, always I jump right in with the reading. But tonight I'd like to pause for a moment to first thank everyone who watches these recordings, who receives these blessings that this book is, and also for dear Linda for joining live, and most of all for my teacher, William Charles Thomas, who 1 year ago tonight departed this realm in Mahasamadhi, which, as Yeshua calls in A Course of Love, is the all of all. And so there he is. And so let us start. We're on chapter 8 tonight, the separation from the body. Interesting that this chapter ended up being tonight. Chapter 8, the separation from the body. Linda, before beginning, do you want me to read or would you like to?
I think you could start.
Okay.
And let me know when you might feel it's time for me to read a little bit.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
The separation from the body. The thoughts of your heart you have defined as your emotions. These thoughts stand apart from the wisdom of your heart that we have already discussed. The wisdom that knows to set love apart as well as your own self. Emotions, the thoughts of your heart, are what we will now work with, separating as we do the truth from your perception of it. This curriculum aims to help you see that your emotions are not the real thoughts of your heart. What other language might your heart speak? It is a language spoken so quietly and with such gentleness that those who cannot come to stillness know it not. The language of your heart is the language of communion. Communion is union that we will speak of here as being of the highest level, though in truth, no levels separate union at all. As a learning being, the idea of levels is helpful to you and will aid you in seeing that you progress from one step or one level of learning to another. This is more a process of remembering than learning. And this you will understand as memory begins to return to you. Your heart will aid you in replacing thinking with remembering. In this way, remembering can be experienced as the language of the heart. This remembering is not of former days spent upon this earth, but of remembering who you really are. It comes forth from the deepest part of you, from the center in which you are joined with Christ. It speaks of no experiences here, wears no faces, and bears no symbols. It is a memory of wholeness, of all to all. Many emotions, as well as thoughts, would seem to block your way to the stillness in which this memory can be found. Yet, as you have seen again and yet again, the Holy Spirit can use what you made for a higher purpose when your purpose is in union with that of Spirit. We will thus examine a new way of looking at emotions, a way that will allow them to assist you in your learning rather than block you from it. You think of the heart as a place of feeling, and thus you associate emotions with your heart. Emotions, however, are really reactions of your body to stimuli that arrive through your senses. Thus, the sight of a lovely sunset can bring tears to your eyes. The slightest contact between your hand and the skin of a baby can cause you to feel as if your heart overflows with love. Harsh words that enter through your ears can cause your face to redden and your heart to beat with a heaviness you label anger or a sting you would call shame. Problems that mount up and seem too much to bear can cause what you call emotional turmoil or even a nervous breakdown. In these situations, either too many feelings are going on all at once, or all feeling is shut down all at once. As with everything else in this world, you strive for a balance that allows your heart to beat at one steady pace, for one emotion to surface at a time, for feelings that you can control, and yet you feel controlled by your feelings, emotions that seem to have a life of their own, and a body that reacts to all of it in ways that make you feel uncomfortable, anxious, ecstatic, or terrified. None of this speaks of what your heart would say to you, but masks the language of the heart and buries stillness deep within an ever-changing milieu of life lived on the surface, as if your own skin were the playground for all the angels and demons that would dance there. What you would remember is replaced by memories of these emotions, so many that they could not be counted even for one day, even by those who claim to have them not. It is not your thoughts to which you turn to bring you evidence for your resentment, ammunition for your vengeance, pain for your remembering. It is to your emotions, those feelings that you would say come from your own heart. What foolishness to think love could abide with companions such as these. If these be in your heart, where is love? If these illusions were real, there would be no place for love at all. But love abides where illusion cannot enter. These illusions are like barnacles upon your heart, adhering to its surface, but keeping it not from fulfilling its function or carrying within itself that which keeps you safe upon this raging sea. Safe within your heart lies love's reality, a reality so foreign to you that you think you remember it not. Yet it is to this reality we head as we travel deep within you to the center of yourself. Even those of you whose perceptions remain quite faulty know that there is a difference between what lies on the surface and what lies beneath. Often, the surface of a situation is all that is seen, the surface of a problem, all that is recognized, the surface of a relationship, all that is known to you. You speak openly of these levels of seeing, recognizing, and knowing, saying often, on the surface it would seem that. And this observation is often followed by attempts to see beneath the surface to find causes, motivations, or reasons for a situation, problem, or relationship. Often this search is called seeking for the truth, while the way in which you go about seeking for the truth, in places it is not, causes it to remain hidden from you. Your recognition that a truth is available in a place other than on the surface is useful to us now. as is your recognition that something other than what appears on the surface exists. What you mean to do when you attempt to look beneath the surface. Do you mean to look beneath the skin or into the hidden recesses of a heart or mind? Without union, all your seeking will not reveal the truth. And while there is a part of you that knows this, you prefer, instead of union, a game of speculation, conjecture, and probable cause. You look for explanations and information rather than the truth you claim to seek. You look in judgment rather than in forgiveness. You look from separation stance rather from the grace-filled place of union. Perhaps you are thinking now that if you knew how this union worked, you would surely use it to find the truth and for other objectives as well. You would like to be a problem solver, a person who could, as in a court of law, separate right from wrong, truth from lies, fact from fiction. You do not even see that what you desire is further separation, and that separation can bring about the truth, cannot bring about the truth, nor arise from unity. Even your loftiest desires are fraught with righteousness that is still righteousness, no matter what the noble cause you deem yourself willing to address. You would see into another's mind and heart in order perhaps to help them, but also to have power over them. Whatever you might come to know, you would deem your property and its disposition your purview. How dangerous would you be if union were such as this? How rightly you would fight it to protect your own secrets from revelation. This faulty perception of union would keep you from the goal you seek, the goal that is no goal, but your only reality, the natural state in which you would exist, but for your decision to reject your reality and your true nature.
Would you like me to read a page?
Sure, I'm at the top of 62.
I'm there. Just going to turn my volume up a little bit. Do you see? Excuse me. Okay. Do you see now why unity and wholeness go hand in hand? Why you cannot withhold a piece of yourself and realize the unity that is your home? Were it possible to exist in unity and still withhold Unity would be a mockery. Who would you withhold for? And whom would you withhold from? Unity is wholeness, all for all. We have talked now of what is on the surface. Let us try an experiment. Think of your body now as the surface of your existence and look upon it. Stand back from it, for it is not your home. The heart we speak of does not abide in it, and nor do you. Separate bodies cannot unite in wholeness. They are made to keep wholeness from you and to convince you of the illusion of your separateness. Step back. See your body as just the surface layer of your existence. It is what appears to be and no more. Let it not keep you from seeing the truth, as you do not let other surface conditions hide the truth from you. Even if you have no formerly found the truth, even if you have not formerly found the truth, you have recognized what is not the truth. Your body is not the truth of who you are, no matter how much it appears to be. For now, let's consider it the surface aspect of your existence. We will go one step further as well, for many of you are thinking still that it is what is within the body that is real, your brain and heart, your thoughts and emotions. If your body contained what was real, it too would be real. Just as if a surface situation contained the truth, it would be the truth. If your body and what lies within it are not who you are, you feel as if you are left homeless. This feeling of homelessness is necessary for your return to your true home. Or were you locked up and contained within your body? And were you to accept this container as your home, you would not accept another. Your other home is the home you feel as if you have left, and the home you feel the desire to return to. Yet it is where you are, and you could not be anywhere else. Your home is here. It's beautiful. You think this is incongruous with the truth as I'm revealing it, the truth that heaven is your home, but it is not. There is no here in the terms that you would think of it, the terms that set your reality in a location, on a planet, or in a body. God is here, and you belong to God. This is the only sense in which you can or should accept the notion that you belong here. When you realize God is here, then and only then can you truthfully say, here is where I belong. I hear music. Would you please read? Can you read?
I bet you do. Now that you are standing back from your body, participating in this experiment to recognize the surface element of your existence, you are perhaps more aware than ever before of being in a particular place and time. As you stand back and observe your body, this is what you will see: a form moving through time and place. You may be more aware than ever of its actions and complaints, its sturdiness or lack thereof. You may be realizing how it governs your existence and wondering how you could spend even a moment without awareness of it. This moment, without awareness of the body, was beautifully described in A Course in Miracles as the holy instant. You may not think observation of your body is a good way to achieve this, but as you observe, you learn to hold yourself apart from what you see. A reminder is needed here, however, a reminder to not observe with your mind, but with your heart. This observance will contain a holiness, a gift of sight beyond that of your normal vision. You may begin by feeling compassion towards this body that you have long viewed as your home. There it goes again, one more time, sleeping and waking. One more time, fueling itself with energy. One more time, extending that energy. One more time, growing weary. One more day is greeted, and its greeting lies upon your heart. Each day tells you all things come to pass. At times, this is cause for rejoicing. At other times, a cause for sorrow. But never can it be evaded that each day is a beginning and an ending both. Night is as certain as day. Into these days that come to pass move many other bodies such as yours. Each one is distinct, and there are so many. As you become an observer, you may well be overwhelmed by what you observe, by the sheer magnitude of all that with you occupies the world. Some days this will make you feel like one of many, a tiny peon of little significance. On other days, you will feel quite superior, the ultimate achievement of the world in all its years of evolution. There are days you will feel quiet of the earth, as if this is your natural calm and heaven to your soul. On other days, your feeling will be quite the opposite. You will wonder where you are. Yes, there your body is, but where are you? Although you cannot observe it, you will become aware of how the past walks through your days with you and the future too. Both are like companions who, for a little while, are welcome distractions, but are loath to leave you when you would have them gone. Where lives this past and future? Where does day go when it is night? What are you to make of all these forms that wander through your days with you? What is it really that you are observing? This is your reenactment of creation, begun each morning and completed each night. Each day is your creation, held together by the thought system that gave it birth. To observe this is to see its reality. To see this reality is to see the image of God you have created in God's likeness. This image is based on your memory of the truth of God's creation and your desire to create like your Father. It is the best in your forgetfulness that you could do, but still it tells you much. Everything is held together by the thought system that gave birth to it. There are but two thought systems, the thought system of God and the thought system of the ego or the separated self. The thought system of the separated self sees everything in separation. The thought system of God sees everything in unity. God's thought system is one of continuous creation, rebirth, and renewal. The ego's thought system is one of continuous destruction and disassembly, of decay and death, and yet how like they are to one another. How like to memory it is to think a thing remembered in every smallest detail, and yet to have no idea what the memory is about. All memory is twisted and distorted by what you would have it be. Everyone can think of at least one long remembered incident that, when given to the light of truth, revealed a lie of outlandish proportions. These are the memories of loved ones, you were sure were trying to hurt you, when in truth they were only trying to help. The memories of situations you deemed meant to embarrass or destroy you that were in truth meant to teach you what you needed to learn to lead you to a success you now enjoy. Thus, your memory of God's creation is a memory you retain to the smallest detail, and yet the details mask the truth so thoroughly that all truth is given over to illusion. How can it be that you move through the same world day by day in the same body, observing many situations like unto each other, awakening to the same sun rising and setting, and yet can experience each day so differently than the one day that one day you feel happy and one day you feel sad, one day you feel hope and one day you feel despair. How can it be that what was created so like to God's creation can be so opposite to it? How can memory so deceive the eyes and yet fail to deceive the heart? This is the truth of your existence, an existence in which your eyes deceive you, but your heart believes not in the deception. Your days are but evidence of this truth. What your eyes behold will one day deceive you, while what your heart beholds will the next day see through the deception. And so, one day lived in your world is misery incarnate, and the next a thing of joy. Rejoice that your heart is not deceived, for herein lies your path to true remembering. So this ends chapter 8. How's the music, Linda?
It's
Can you
lovely.
describe it to us or
Um,
how it makes you feel?
yes. Um, it's, I mean, it's music that I've heard before to some degree, but it's so triumphant. You know, that's all, it's like coming from some other place, and it has the ability to uplift. It's almost like of course, it's a consciousness also reacting to the truth of some of the phrases that caused it to say, Eureka! You know, but much more beautifully. I mean, it stopped me in my tracks. So like it was like an exclamation point. If music could do that, it's saying, pay attention here. There's something here. It's all over the place, of course. Um, and uh, this chapter, it resonates because it's like my experiences this week are within this chapter. So I'm going, yeah, you know.
This is what I mean about the book does you in spite of you.
Well, it
That's
has,
what happened to me.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it's not surprising,
Mm.
because it's encapsulating what I would say humanity, or I could say I struggle with, um, from time to time. So there is a phrase where it says, the memories of situations you deemed meant to embarrass or destroy you, that were in truth meant to teach you what you needed to learn to lead you to a success. Uh, I don't know if I now enjoy it, but to lead you to a success, I underline that because I think that happens a lot, and it's about perspective, how one responds to situations, even through memory, can make a difference about how you feel and what you take from it. So I found that very interesting tonight.
This whole chapter is so interesting because it really started to talk more about feelings on this chapter. Interesting to me that we'll really start to talk more about this in a chapter called The Separation from the Body.
Say more.
I I feel led to read from another of Mari Perron's books, just a little bit about that, where I think she really says it. Do you mind if I share that with you?
Oh, it sounds good. Thank you.
Um, well, let me go to it here. I'm reading from this book, Memoria. So it's called Book Two of the Way of the Marys. Um, and I'm not being paid to promote her books or anything. It's just that these books really resonate with me. What he speaks of in this chapter of truth, of remembered truth, and also my experiences. Um, so this is um, a bit of who she describes as Mother Mary speaking to her because later in A Course of Love, there's a part he speaks of the way of Mary. And so more people wanted to know more of that. And so this book and a few others came of that question. So part of what was revealed to Mari Perron here is this: all feelings that get buried are the same feelings that, when felt, do the stretching of the bounds of your humanity, elongating your capacity for knowing through feeling one to another, as well as for knowing what comes in your sacred privacy. So that's all I'll read from this for right now.
Would you please read that one more time?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All feelings that get buried are the same feelings that, when felt, do the stretching of the bounds of your humanity, elongating your capacity for knowing through feeling
Mm,
one to another, as well as for knowing what comes in your sacred privacy.
mm. I see. There's a contrast. Feelings that get buried don't do the same things as feelings that are felt. That's the key, that action word. I think you said if you feel it, then it
Yeah, so
transforms.
feelings are the key. And this book goes on talking about creation of the new.
Hmm.
And so creation of the new cannot happen with according to this um, and according to my own experience without feeling. But
Yeah.
but it is easy, I think, and this is I've seen it like all over the internet, and I'm not gonna call anyone out or anything, but there's this notion that your mind can lead you to feeling, but the mind is not part of it at all. In my experience, the feeling is felt for you by this feeling self that is in the heart of us. And that's not our physical heart, but
That's
the
right.
he says it in here about the heart not being our physical heart, and it's not in our body. Our body is, the illusion, an illusion that is in the heart of, actually, the heart of God. So,
The heart of all that is.
yeah, yeah, the heart of all that is. And it's within us.
Right.
Yeah, it's not somewhere else. That's why he says, God is here to me. That's why it resonated.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's where you started to hear the singing
Yeah.
or
This
the music.
the discussion is helpful because you really kind of have to slow down and think about there are words like feeling, but if you really think about it, you have to really contemplate what is feeling. And now we're now talking about where do you feel? Not in with your logical mind,
Mm-mm.
but
So,
in a heart that isn't even within the body. But you have it because we're not the body.
mhm.
Yeah, it takes a little time. And have you done any kind of practice or experiment or have you had an experience to
I do.
find that heart and to feel?
I do. Um, my experience is that I cannot sit here and think I'm going to feel and then fill in the blank.
Right? That's the mind.
Yeah. And so your mind will say, oh, this will be fun. I'll get her to think she's feeling. But for me, the feeling, if we connect with our feeling self, what I do is connect with my feeling self, um, which is the divine feminine within each being. So I connect with that and I have acceptance for whatever is trying to reveal itself through the reflection that I'm seeing as my life in the world. So whatever is trying to be revealed, I ask for this feeling. What is the feeling that I have not expressed within myself, that this reflection that I'm seeing in the world is showing me? And then I just rest in this waiting for this. And what happens is something that I have suppressed arises up to be cleared.
Yeah.
It's like cleaning the rooms of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's like cleaning a room of your heart. And what happens once that is finished expressing itself through me and as me, not my controlling it,
Mm-hmm.
but allowing it to feel through me. That's the best way I
Yep.
can explain it.
Yeah.
Is then what happens is a total, how to say this, a total peacefulness, a total love
Yeah.
is all that is underneath of that. It's like the little wave of that feeling dissipates into the sea of love. That's what it is. And you can rest in that sea of love for so long because
Mm-hmm.
it feels so good. So, you know, especially, in spiritual circles, it can be like looked down upon to express anger, for example. But if I start to sense that I'm getting angry about something, then I'll just connect. What is this? Some unfelt anger or something that is coming up. And so I'll just connect to the feeling self within me and accept it. Acceptance of it is important.
Yes.
And if you feel you can accept it, then accept your non acceptance at least.
Yes. Yes.
And so it's just accepting whatever is coming up to be released.
Right.
And asking that part of myself, okay, will you feel this through me? This is the way that it has evolved for me. There are other ways to do it. But this is a way that for me has worked. And so that's why I'm sharing it. And so that feeling would express itself, and our human mind would think, oh, this feeling is going to be a scream or something horrid. But that's not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
It may just be like a movement that you feel within. And for me, I may intuit uh, a word or a scene of the past or something that's not even in this life, in this lifetime, that is just, or it may reveal as something coming from my family's DNA. And it will, these are things that I've learned to intuit, but the feelings themselves never directly speak with words. They just need to be felt. So once that anger would come up and be felt, there's only that sea of love underneath of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that will never be reflected to me again because it's been fully felt.
Mm.
So
That feeling will never be reflected to you again because it's completed its expression. Is that what you're saying?
or the reflection that I stopped in, for example,
Yeah.
someone is showing me anger or making me angry. So in that moment, or I can even do it later if I'm too busy to do it in the moment,
Mhm.
then I'll make a mental note to myself, okay, and we'll come back to this later. And so when I come back to it later and I ask it to come up, to be released, to
Okay.
be accepted, I declare that I accept it. And if I don't feel I accept it, then I accept my non acceptance of it
Yeah, at this time, right?
at this time.
Mm.
And I ask this divine feeling part, and it's not just me, it's in every being.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like a bruised part of us because so many do not feel, do not allow it to express.
Mm.
And it's not a harmful thing to express, it's harmful to withhold it
Yes.
because withholding it, all those feelings that are not expressed are the true cause of disease. So, you know, so the feeling,
And it's also separation. I
yeah,
mean,
it is a
that's what
separation.
I just felt, like it's you
Mhm.
can't be whole and
Yeah, you're not in your wholeness
no, right.
until it's felt. So, and this can be such an enjoyable process.
Okay.
It's not like, uh, you know, you know,
Like hitting a punching bag.
it's not like that. It's not like something to be dreaded. Oh no, I have to feel all these feelings.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
what next? No, it is the most you will find. It becomes like your sacred time
Hmm.
and your most enjoyable and connected time of your day until your whole life becomes like you living in that sea of the beautiful love feeling.
It
There are
sounds
no
like,
waves that come up to be cleared anymore. So
yeah, right.
that does
It,
that make sense?
it's you may have to talk about it a couple more times. Like, there people feel a lot of fear these days, and in some ways that's probably being deliberately triggered, and in other cases, they just feel it because they feel threatened. So that's something that would be really interesting to feel and to
Yeah.
use this technique. It's not a technique, it is the truth. I'll say that. And it feels like we don't do anything alone. And that's what and what your I'll just call it a practice because of my training. What it's about is that you're calling on something much larger than any individual soul, within, right? It's within, but like our
Yeah.
heart, that's not part of not our physical heart. It's not ours alone in any way because we really, really are one.
Yes.
Think we're separate, kind of like shoots popping out from a common root. They might think, "Oh, I'm a plant. I'm all that," but they're united. They have everything in common, really,
Yeah.
below the surface, out of their awareness. And I feel like there's this aspect of the all that is. I'm just trying to understand what you were saying, that can handle, is happy to feel, really,
Oh,
really feel.
the first time I did it, I was like, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna try. It
Hmm.
was the most beautiful experience. Oh my. And once you do it once and you
No.
feel what's actually inside of you, heaven's inside of you. That's what the scripture tells you, but it doesn't tell you where.
Uh,
I feel this is where I feel. I feel this is the heaven within, because the when what is not heaven, not part of that wholeness, releases, you feel that heaven within. It's total bliss, total love. Who doesn't want that? I mean, who wants to scroll their phone when they can be looking at the bad news, when they can be, feeling bliss and that deep well of love that's right inside of you, waiting forever for you to feel it. It's like these packages that have been waiting and waiting and waiting to be opened, that are the greatest gift anyone can ever, and you can't even imagine. You can't imagine it. But then the good part is this feeling, this well of love that's in you is also what creates the thought and the feeling together, are how to
mm,
create beautiful things in the world.
hmm.
And so if you really know how to feel,
Mm, mm,
um, but that's not even saying it, right? Not It's not something that you need to know, but something you allow.
hmm.
Yeah, knowing is the wrong word. It's an allowing yourself to feel that. That I feel is self love,
Hmm.
truly self love.
Hmm. Interesting.
And this is not teaching. This is only a sharing, because there's nothing to teach. Everything is in here, but just um, the Christ in you becomes your teacher. You don't need a teacher. That's what this book is to reveal. The Christ in you. That's who we all are.
And that's just a label. Um, different people from different traditions may resonate with a different kind of label. I hear like God in action, the creator, the Christ in you, Christ,
Yeah, they're
Jesus.
just names,
Yep, you're right. That which
but
is within cannot be named,
yeah,
but it is who we are.
and you will know it.
Yeah,
If you dare to, if you want to, you will know with no question anymore. The
yeah.
ego can no longer trick you.
Once you
Um,
feel, once you feel it
yeah,
and experience um the love. I mean, love is not even the label that it's not expansive enough. The word doesn't, I think, really express what love, what the the creator's love that we are feels like. But people do know it. They have had the experiences, I'm sure, and they just really need to they need to recall it. And a lot of it has to do with, in my experience, taking time to not do anything. Because a lot of times, that pushing away things to do, all the distractions, you might we might think that we're active, taking charge, but we're really asleep. I'm been very much convinced you could call it sleeping, not not experiencing what we're here to experience. And who wouldn't want to experience what you've described? And it sounds like it's attainable because
Very.
that's
Yeah.
good to hear.
Yeah. And the characters who trigger us in the news is the same thing. What is it what I do? I just ask my feelings up. What is it in this that's in me that
Okay.
I'm seeing this? That this is, you know, this is a reflection in my world. And just allow that whatever is underneath of it. And I try not to even truthfully to name the feelings
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
there's, you know, this is the thing. There are so many colors of one feeling um, that is hard to put, really, to put a name. Sometimes if I'm shown a word, if I intuit a word during this process, um, I heard, that this is as close as you would know
Mhm.
in your human form
Mhm.
to what is released. So, but it isn't only that. So things are released, in other words, emotions, feelings we've never heard, we don't have a name for. And but the flip side of that is when feeling to create something new, it also works in the other way. So there are wonderful things being created that we have no name for yet.
Mm. Wow.
Feelings we have no, wonderful feelings that we have no word for. So
Wow.
it's much more than we realize, I feel.
No, I think I mean, there are spiritual teachers I respect. There are some, and they have written this, not saying it in the way that you're saying it, but it has that ring of truth, and everyone can experience it for themselves. What I do know is that when you do, no one can take it away. It's like it is the truth. It is your truth. It is your experience. And yeah, I mean, I have had experiences of profound peace or profound wisdom that go beyond, they're not me. I could never have dreamed them up or created the scenario that I experienced, but I know it for the rest of my days. I know what it felt like. And I imagine that's available for everyone. So I'm looking forward to trying this every day.
Well, and the beautiful thing is what you experience, what you felt is known for everyone because there's only one here. So so every little thing that we feel is felt for everyone, although that does not mean everyone doesn't have their own process to go through, you know.
It's the awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot we in as humans can do to move in the direction of unity, of really understanding who we are. There's a lot, but some people have put it into beautiful words, and I think that a course of love is part of that. So yeah, thank you for reading every night or every time, every week, every night. I don't know how often you do it, but it's just great.
Thank you, Linda, for joining, and for everyone who I don't know who you are yet that you watch these videos. I thank you, and may it all be a blessing to you. That is that is all. Okay, so thank you, everyone, and this. Do you have anything else, Linda?
Oh no, I'm
No? Okay. Me neither. I feel that's all that was wanting to come out. I'll just say that we usually have these conversations after I stop the recording, but Linda said, what if we just left the recording on to me last time? And so we did. So if you don't like that part, you can stop it after the reading. But if you do like it, you're welcome to listen. Or to come on and join us in the conversation. So thank you, everyone, again. Good night.